All right, perfect. So as I was saying before, we want to be above a 4.85 rating, 4.9 if we can, and then stellar reviews is 5 stars, right? So our process, pretty much what that looks like, is we make sure to actually check in with our guests multiple times throughout their stay and educate them on what a 5 star review actually means to ourselves, and making sure that they have a 5 star experience. Because if a guest doesn't have a 5 star experience, then there's no reason for them to have a 5 star, leave us a 5 star review, right? So we're educating them multiple times throughout the actual process, right? So another thing I want to mention that really has an impact when it comes to visibility, it's not just going to be 5 star reviews, but the other thing is going to be photography, as well as title, and then as well as the description down here too. So one thing that you're bringing out that I love is you're mentioning hot tub and mountain views, secluded Miriam escape, right? So you're highlighting the hot tub and mountain views. However, one thing that we were mentioning earlier, there's no hot tub being advertised here, right? And whenever you go to the mountains, it gets a little bit chillier. So it's going to be a major driving point from a guest standpoint to make sure that they actually have a hot tub. Now, we do have the hot tub kind of down here a little bit that you can kind of see it, but if this is going to be a major reason why guests that are vacationing to North Carolina are looking to book, why don't we make this closer, more zoomed in, different angle to really grab the guest's attention, right? Now, this is a great view of the actual views of the actual property. I think this photography is great. You did a great job going through the actual ordering the furniture, designing everything. It looks phenomenal. One thing that I would like to add in here, though, is what we really found to make a big impact is if we add in some lifestyle photography. So maybe some people actually using the hot tub. Maybe if you have a fire pit in the back end, that would be a huge amenity driver that I would definitely recommend if you currently don't have a fire pit, because a lot of guests, whenever they go on vacation, they're usually family members, and they want to be able to really grasp these memories, because the average American probably only goes on vacation 2 to 3 times a year, max. So they really want to take advantage to really foster these memories and these relationships with the family members. So maybe we could potentially add a fire pit down here. That's one suggestion that I would suggest to drive revenue for your actual property. Right now, this is going to be your photography, right? But what I really want to do is I want to dig into some of the comparables that I pulled, and how they compare to your actual photography, as well as like your actual furniture that you have in your property as well too. So here's the property. The first thing that I notice here is we have these string lights going on in the background that's really popping, grabbing somebody's attention. Now, this is obviously a little bit of an edited photo, but one thing that you want to notice right off the bat is they're highlighting their actual hot tub, right? And this property doesn't even have incredible views like yourself. This is just a regular Airbnb cabin in the woods, and they have 5 star reviews, right? So that's why I really want to highlight to yourself on like how important it is to highlight the proper amenities within your actual place. So for us, what we would do is we would come into your actual property, potentially get a few new photographs, really highlight the amenities, as well as do a deep dive into your actual description, your title, to really grab somebody's attention whenever they're looking and scrolling on the Airbnb platform themselves, right? So great photography here. It's called a hero photo. It grabs somebody's attention. 5 star reviews, which is probably really helping them in the long run, right? Next one I want to jump into. This is a property also based in the mountains too. They have some good review. They have some good views, and they have a 4.99 rating out of 120 reviews. Imagine what their visibility is compared to your visibility, right? And the reason that they have so many reviews and they have such a high review ranking is because they properly educate their guests throughout their stay and making sure they're actually fostering a 5 star experience, right? So Kim right here is a super host, right? She's in the top 10% of homes, and her property honestly doesn't look amazing to me. I mean, has great views, has a hot tub, but look at this photography. Like, the photography really isn't great. Your photography is honestly better. Your cabin is honestly better than theirs as well too. But what they realize is the guest experience is the most important part of hospitality when it comes to Airbnbs. Like, would you agree? Exactly. All right. So she has 120 reviews because she's mastered this art, and that's exactly what we need to do and what we specialize for as a boutique manager. All right. So next thing I want to talk about is I know you wanted to make an extra $800 a month in income for this property, so your wife can potentially stay home, and then you guys can potentially buy more Airbnbs in the future, right? So majority of people, everybody can make money in the North Carolina region in the high season, which is going to be September and October when the leaves start changing. But it's really challenging for short-term rental investors and short-term rental operators to make money in the low season, which is going to be January, February, and March, because it's usually freezing unless you have a ski resort nearby. But this property doesn't, right? So what you really want to do is you want to make sure you're implementing a low season as well as a high season strategy to make sure we're making the most amount of income all throughout the year to add on that extra $800 to $1,000 per month in income, right? So what we realized to be beneficial is targeting more midterm rental stays, right? So for your market, I'm not well, if I did my research, I would know this, but okay, Mountain Steam. So Marin is there. So maybe there's a few people that are traveling for working remote in this area during the lower season. And maybe they're looking for a 1 week, 2 week stay, and they don't want to stay in a motel. What we could potentially do, and what I would suggest, is we drop the rate by maybe 10, 15%, but we increase the average nightly minimum stay required from 3 nights to 5 nights, right? And what that does is it allows us to target more midterm rental stays, so you get more nights booked and you're able to drive more revenue. And what this does, instead of us targeting for the weekend stays like Friday, Saturday, and check out on Sunday, we're going to be targeting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well too. So this is one strategy that I would implement here. And then also one thing that we like to do is we like to close orphan days. So say, for example, you have a booking that comes in for Friday through Monday, they check out, and your next booking comes in on Thursday. There's 3 days in between that, and that's what we like to call orphan days. So like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have a strategy where we're able to decrease the nightly rate by a certain percentage that will entice more people that are visiting between that time frame. So say you have somebody coming in town Monday through Wednesday for business or whatever their situation is. When we implement that strategy into our revenue management software, we decrease the nightly rate to entice more people. Instead of booking a hotel for those nights, they could potentially book this lovely Airbnb cabin that you potentially have right here too. So I'm going to walk through that strategy. And then I would potentially walk through strategy about also booking weekdays as well. As we have different revenue management strategy software in place where, like, if they book Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there's like a 5% increase, 8% increase for those days. And then if they book Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have a 5% decrease on weekdays, such as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well, to entice more people. So those are a few of the strategies that really set us apart as a boutique manager. So just to recap to you, the biggest thing that makes us stand apart is that we actually have time. We don't work with just anybody and everybody. The property has to actually fit our brand, and the owner has to be aligned with making sure they want the guests to have a 5-star experience. They're not looking to just turn this over and they just don't really care about the property. So we spend a lot of time fostering a great guest experience from the client communication standpoint is our bread and butter. The second thing that we do is we walk through the optimization strategies on how to potentially increase your revenue from a photography standpoint, a title standpoint, as well as a description standpoint to make sure you really stand out. On top of that, we provide advice on like different amenities that could potentially drive your revenue. And then when we dig deeper into revenue management, we really spend about 2 to 3 different times a week checking the profitability on how many people have actually booked for the next 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, and how do we actually need to adjust rates, right? So when it comes down to boutique property management from the Airbnb side, we're really focused on quality over quantity, right? So After everything that I walked you through today, Arthi, do you think what we do here is different from what your current Airbnb property manager is currently doing for you? And do you believe it would help you solve the problem of the fact that you're not currently making $800 a month in income for this actual property more than you should be?
Yes, it will. Yeah, I like that, Austin. Yes, yeah.
Okay, Arthi,
So,
why do you think it would help you?
it's gonna help me because one, you laid out like clear strategies on how I can make $800 more every month. Like the revenue optimization and the 5-star experience. And I also like the strategy about the low season and high season. So I definitely think that that would be helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think we could definitely be able to increase your revenue, especially from taking a look at your reviews and the potential that your property has, because you have an absolutely amazing property. So let's do this. So you next steps would be is I'd go ahead and send you over our services agreement. Go ahead and go through that on this call because I'm sure you're gonna have questions for me. Once you get that signed, we'll go ahead and get all the onboarding set up for yourself. All right.
I, yep, let's do that.